When I was a child, I talked like a child. I thought like a child. I reasoned like a child. When I grew older, I set aside childish ways. Corinthians 13:11. In the distant future, mankind has spread into the stars and found it is not alone. Within the cluster of planets known as the Silrain Heart, many races strive for survival or supremacy. But throughout this array of planets, societies, and cultures, each has one thing in common: the crucibles. Scattered throughout the galaxy, each moon-sized structure contains a core of raw sorium, a form of mysterious energy used to power ships, cities, and sometimes the warping of the fabric of reality itself. Beings who can do this have been given a name: Espers. The power of God has been granted to God's children. It is a time of terror. It is a time of wonder. It is the time of Esper Genesis.
I tell you what, you know what? It's gonna be a crazy time. It is going to be a crazy time when we end up being done with that video, because man, I really love that. Also, I realized that apparently it never took my Twitch thing, never actually took the switch in the dashboard. So bear with me just 1 second. This is not, I don't understand why it's not showing the right thing. This is not No Man's Sky. This is, in fact, day 75 of Esper Genesis. Aftermath. Yeah. I am annoyed that it didn't take this the first time. Okay, just went live with that, and my apologies. I is pro. Please try this. Don't try this at home. Okay, there we go. Now we're going to do this. I have no idea why it didn't take that, but it didn't, but that's okay. We're rolling with it. We're almost there. We're stretching it out. We're making it happen. And there we go. Done. There it is. Now it's fixed. I don't know why I was doing that, but there we are. So here we are. Yeah, I know. Exactly. It was completely my bad, and, you know, that happened. But we are back. We are ready to go, and we are here for day 75 of Esper Genesis. It is my great pleasure to welcome you all here. I hope everyone is looking forward to what promises to be an awesome session tonight. Now, I'm not going to take a long time on the intro because we are only going to have a couple of hours with you folks tonight. That is because we're starting a little later. We did that to accommodate Carlos, who was doing a a reading and had a bunch of other cool stuff that was happening. We wanted to make sure that he was involved, but also we wanted to make sure that we were ready to go for the next couple of hours so that we can get this session in. And we do want to have 2 sessions this month because, as you all know, we are closing in. We are barreling towards the end of Esper Genesis. We have actually only 3 sessions left after today. We have got 2 regular sessions, the later one this month and one early on in May, and then the epic conclusion of Esper Genesis, Shadow of the Zephyr, which will be happening during ArvCon in late May. Then we will be launching our Expedition from the Mysterious Peaks campaign with these same players, and we might even be doing that live at a convention during the summer, but we'll talk about that when we get there. It's going to be really exciting. I'm happy, and yeah, it's going to be great. So, with all that said, though, I should just mention a couple of quick things. If you haven't already done so, please follow our channel. Please check out our YouTube, the !ArvTube. Discord is !ArvCord. Twitter is !ArvTweets. And the website for all this is arvineleron.com. And in particular, please, please, please subscribe over on the YouTube channel. We have been making big efforts towards that. We really want to push people to be able to do that because when we get to 1,000 subscribers, we'll be able to do some cool things on the channel, and it will really help us both there and here. So please sub to us over on YouTube. It does not cost you anything, but it really helps us out a lot. And that, of course, is !ArvTube for details there. We're at about 819 subscribers right now, so please go over there, and you will see more of these kinds of things. There it is, as Chatty catches up with the stream title change. So there's that. On the financial side, !Arv Shop is the merchandise area where you can get Adventures of Middle-earth, Infinity, and Beyond, and we'll soon be able to get Expedition from the Mysterious Peaks stuff, which is swag for you and supports the channel. !Arv Treon is the Patreon, 20 patrons, $201 per month. Trying to continuing move that north and higher numbers because that makes it possible for us to do all kinds of things, including commission the video that you just saw, for example. So we've got that, and then we've got Arv Treon for that, and then we've got, of course, subscribing to the channel, which allows you to get those awesome custom sub badges and emotes to use everywhere across Twitch. And if you support it at a high enough tier, both there and on the Patreon, you can actually inspire our players. Inspirations have been reset for the month, and so now's the time. Burn them if you got them, because you'll be able to use those. Obviously, you have other campaigns to worry about too, I know. But for the Esper Genesis aficionados, we'll see whether or not they need any help here, if they happen to have some bugs that land on them. I mean, it'll be fine. But anyway, so that definitely helps us out as well. On the publishing side, Icarus, my award-winning graphic novel from Athos Arts, Library, which is my tales and tomes from the Forbidden Library, my 5e adventure and source book, which is now available, by the way, to the everyday public, not just the Kickstarter backers. You can get that at your friendly local game store, so please consider picking that up. And that's from Alligator Alley Entertainment, which is the sponsor of this campaign. And both Alligator Alley and Athos together will be working on my Greyshade Kickstarter, which is Greyshade KS. We are moving ever closer to that event when Greyshade is published, and when the backer kit, the preview page goes live, and that preview page will be up for 2 weeks, and then the Kickstarter itself will launch. And speaking of Greyshade, by the way, the cover reveal for Greyshade will be happening during my 10-year Streamiversary event, which is going to be happening this Tuesday. I'm going to be starting earlier, at least 10 a.m. Eastern. I might start even a bit earlier than that if I can, but no later than 10 a.m. Eastern. I'll be playing some games from the past. I'll be chatting up a bunch of stuff, doing a couple of giveaways, and doing the cover reveal for Greyshade, which is going to be awesome. And then we're going to be doing some Adventures in Middle-earth as well. So please join us for a look back and a look forward as I celebrate my 10 years of streaming on Twitch. April 12th, 2012 was my first ever stream on Twitch, and so I'm very much looking forward to seeing what this is like and how people feel about things this coming Tuesday, April 12th, 2022. Finally, I should mention BLM, Black Lives Matter. Very important to affirm and assert the significance and importance of Black lives. And while I'm on the subject, congratulations to Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson. Well deserved, highly qualified, and the first Black woman in the history of America to be elevated to the Supreme Court. Long overdue, and just a lot of joy that I've seen from people about that. A bit of good news in what has been a year without much of it, and that is definitely unadulterated good news. And so, yeah, very good to see that. So So exclamation point BLM, exclamation point help now, the World Health Organization page on suicide prevention. Very important to reach out to others and reach out to others when you need help as well. And exclamation point Ukraine, UKRAINE, to help the brave people of Ukraine who are fighting for their sovereignty against an illegitimate and evil imperialist expansion, and who are doing so with incredible bravery and courage, and we can help them in our own way with exclamation point Ukraine. Yeah, it was not actually, I got involved on Twitch just a couple years, excuse me, after it became Twitch. I think maybe like 18 months, I want to say. But yeah, I started following it in December of 2011. And then I started streaming myself in April of 2012. So yeah, it's been a while for sure. So exclamation point Ukraine for that. Last quick note about the schedule. Esper Genesis tonight. Tomorrow, we will have the epic conclusion of Legacy of Dragonholt. So you'll want to join me for that because you will be the ones making the decisions there. Then we will be off on Sunday and Monday, and we'll be back on Tuesday with the Streamiversary. So it's going to be a big deal. Very excited about it and all that kind of good stuff. But right now, I am excited to unmute myself and get us ready for the amazing Esper Genesis session to come. So I have unmuted myself. Now I'm going to unmute them. And last but certainly not least, with apologies for whatever I interrupted over there, I'm going to head over to reveal the best space opera tabletop game that exists on Twitch. Best players, best crew. There's no question about that. And I present to you these amazing people, beginning with the person who's on the top left of this set of four squares. And that is one Mr. Johnny Pittman, who has decided that he is going to, much like the rest of us, live his life according to Zach Clay's Twitter. So we've all agreed to that, and we hope that you too can take this pledge to live your life as Zach Clay would on his Twitter. So I hope everyone in chat can do that. Johnny, how has it felt since you made this decision to start doing those things, and how have you been otherwise, and who are you playing today?
Did he change his name again? Did I not get the memo? Because I haven't been seeing his messages lately.
Oh,
Zach, are you now
like
Zach the Mac or something?
Zach the Mac.
No. I changed it once, I think.
Well, I was still reliving the drama that came along with that, man.
Yes. I don't even remember what it was before.
It's going to be at Clay Mac Clay or something, or just be like,
Yes.
Man, really? Like,
So, isn't this Carlos's time? Carlos, please.
No, it's Johnny's. This is
Wait,
Johnny's
no,
time.
is it
You
I'm
were
so
like, wow,
confused.
listen, Zach told us we need to move on, so I guess we don't get to hear from Johnny.
Yeah.
I guess that's what happened.
Yep. My word
Move
is the
along.
law. I am
Move
the
along.
law.
Um,
But wait, Johnny, who are you playing
Right.
tonight?
Yeah.
I don't know, Zach. Who am I playing tonight?
Johnny is playing Aramis, the Ashen Forged Melder. Wow, I just spoke that entirely from muscle memory.
Man,
Not
it's
from-
good
That was
stuff.
well done.
Not because I actually knew. All right, who's next?
Zach's just gonna play every character. Okay, so it's great to have Johnny with us, and you'll all get to hear more from him, or maybe you won't. That brings us over, I should say, to the amazing, incomparable, and award-winning author, let me just say, known as Cat Rambo. And Zach, would you like to tell us everything about Cat that you know?
Yeah, Cat Rambo has written and I believe also has published over 10 unique writings, whether that be novels or anthologies and so on. Amazing person, and is going to be playing tonight Petrosinis, the Ashen Forged. Yes. Is that the word?
Yes.
Sentinel, who
Got
has
it.
a very large hammer
Yes.
and a proclivity, use that word often, for AI speaking with them, something.
That's awesome. See, I don't even need to say anything. Time to move along to Carlos.
The other person, of course, that we have here who is not yet Zach. I know you're all waiting. You're like, when do we get to Zach? But the other person that we have with us right now is one Mr. Carlos Hernandez, who is joining us after a highly successful reading and presentation recently just done at a virtual. Was this Flights of Foundry, Carlos, or are you at somewhere?
No. This was basically just something we whipped together.
Oh,
Claire and
okay.
I. So yeah, it was just like a local.
I
reading here.
see.
But, I mean, Zach would know better.
I was
than
going to
us.
say, did you
Of
get Zach's
course.
approval? Because I don't think that's
Yeah.
legit. I don't think you can do
I
that.
saw the email and then never responded, so I think he just kind of went ahead with it.
Well, so basically, we held the event, but nobody came because Zach didn't approve it.
Yeah, or I didn't do the media push that it needed. So
Right.
Assuming
on my-
assuming
from
that
my
he had
Twitter.
done well, Zach, what would this person Carlos be known for, and who would he be playing if
Yeah,
he had not
well-
displeased you?
perhaps his profession of professing, and then also the super cool RPG system thing he's making called, is it Negocios Infernales, something like that, and
You are
it's
good.
getting published soon, which is going to be cool. I think, maybe, I don't know. And he's going to also be playing Sleepwell, who is a Valna, what is the class called? Valna cleric. Effectively. Engineer.
Fourth wall
Um,
shattered. Like
you're
the
an
whole
engineer,
thing
right?
is just like
Who is named after his mentor and also loves AI and apparently hates slugs and wants them to die.
that
Yeah.
that seems reasonable. So yeah, it's good that Carlos, who doesn't need to say anything else. Zach has said what needs to be said. Zach, how does Zach Clay introduce Zach Clay? How
Well-
can we summarize all that is you in one thing?
As so far the beginning of this stream has gone, there can only be one option for my introduction,
Right.
which is that now the rest of the cast does my introduction.
Oh, okay. Well then, Johnny, give me one fun fact. What do we need to know about Zach that we don't already know, Johnny?
He misses the black hole gun.
That
Black hole
right,
gun.
misses the black hole gun.
Where'd you go?
Kat, do you have a thought of what Zach really cares about the most when it comes to playing this game? You have any thoughts about that?
He cares about making Cosmoritis the best that he can be.
Oh, I think that's very true. And Carlos, do you have any thoughts about what perhaps are the greatest fears that Zach Clay might possess?
Yeah, I think Zach Clay fears that it's going to be revealed that his Starman is really just like three raccoons in a suit, and there's nothing.
It's
starry
all
about
an
it.
illusion. That's not supposed to be until the last episode.
God, you screwed up. Why can't you be more like
Spoiler
Zach?
alert!
Yeah.
Hashtag three raccoons.
Yes, Zach is playing today Cosmoritis, a Bellari hunter with slash and you took a
Yeah.
level in something. Oh, I don't know. Bellari,
there's
a
the
specialist slash
Yeah,
specialist.
there you go.
A hunter slash specialist with a proclivity for long sniper rifle shots, enjoys long walks on the beach and having
Yep.
slugs crawl over him,
Yep.
apparently. So that's basically how this goes down.
We should do this every episode, guys.
No, we shouldn't.
No.
No, we should not. But we did it today, and if you folks liked it, you should support us at hashtag Zach is the best. Now we all know, even though we are only reflections of Zach Clay, we're going to move on and do the best
Of
we
course.
can to at least summarize what happened in our last session. So with a little bit of music, let us get into it with this. Okay. With your permission, Zach, of course.
Of course, yes.
Okay.
And disclaimer, I did not sign up for or endorse anything that just happened.
Right. That's true. So let's do the last slug you met try to eat his ship. That's a good point. You make a good point, Rudnell. That is indeed accurate. In our last session, the crew has come to the planet Illustria, an uncharted planet beyond the edges of the known galaxy. They have come here thanks to the power of the Hyperlance's AI wired into Alfred, who has managed to make, along with the other Alfreds, this link, this connection that allows them to travel to a place that no one else has been able to make it to before, with one exception, and that is that allegedly someone came before them, specifically Abraxas, and possibly Arisia Angel, who came to this planet seeking out an item which would allow the crew, which would allow Abraxas to have access to what is left of the Shadow Technocracy, their final base, basically wipe them out of existence before they can come back and threaten the Silrain Arc again. And so that note information basically was left for the crew, and it was just about that detailed. And so the crew, after serious discussion, decided to allow Alfred to be fully wired and hooked into the Hyperlance, and it did indeed take them to this galaxy beyond other galaxies in this planet, specifically Illustria. When they landed here, they found that a besieged base known as Aftermath, which is composed of many, many cultures and races from across the Silrain Arc, but none of them refer to themselves as those races. They all refer to themselves as Illustrians. All of them are down on this planet's surface, and they have been under attack by what the party has come to know is these Zamarons, these bug-like creatures with who are enormously there's a lot of them. First of all, there's a huge amount of them, but also have this strange intelligence. It might be a hive mind of some kind, but are able to improvise, think ahead. There are multiple different kinds of Zamarin and so forth. And the party managed to just stave off an attack/ambush by those Zamarin. They decided that they had to take the fight if they were going to find out what happened to Abraxas and Arisia, who crash-landed somewhere on this planet, allegedly. They were going to need to find out how to save these people of Aftermath, and hopefully also gather information about this object that they were seeking, this luminant. And to find this device, to actually find this artifact, they need to go into what has now been taken over by the Zamarin. So they've got to deal with the Zamarin one way or the other. And so the party has figured out a way possibly to do that by having some of the kids from Aftermath bring them to this deserted factory where a lot of this fuel that the Aftermath base people say that they need to be able to launch an offensive on the main hive, which used to be their church of the Zamarin, is held. This fuel almost certainly is some form of sorium, but again, the Illustrians do not refer to it as that. And so the party made their way into the factory, had managed to gather some information, had some weird ghostly events where they thought they saw creatures and they thought they saw some kind of weird forms in front of them, and it was bizarre. Kaz was one of the people who saw that, for example, and finally managed to break their way free to this map, which I will show right now, which is basically the top of what looks like a large sinkhole. And down the sinkhole, there are many of these sort of almost glittering like jewels, all of these eggs that are down below lining the sinkhole, and across is this enormous bloated creature, one of the Zamarins, quite clearly, that is lying on its side in front of a set of doors, and there are 4 grubs which are nursing on it. And so the party decided that rather than deal with those grubs, at least initially, and deal with that big thing, whatever it is, they would instead head down to the bottom of the sinkhole in hopes that they could take a passageway and head out and sort of skip all this altogether. Funny thing happened on the way to the forum, though, because while they were going on their way down to the floor, and it was, I believe, Kaz and Aramis who were there, that were going down while Sleepwell and Petra looked from above. They were going down, and if we look at the previous dice roll, let me just scroll that up for you, chat. You will see there a 2. That was the dexterity check made by one Aramis, who sadly managed to bang into one of these egg-like things. It toppled over, hit another egg, and then it was just and popping out of these eggs were all of these grubs which began to crawl over and around Kaz and Aramis. And so as we hand things back over to the party, I have not put us into initiative yet, because technically these are grubs that are not like, you're not going to fight the grubs exactly. You're going to have to deal with them, obviously, but you're not going to have to fight them per se. So far, the creatures up top, the big grubs and the big whatever that is, that Zamarin feeder thing, they have not noticed anyone. They just know that, they're just doing whatever they're doing. They haven't noticed you yet. But unfortunately, the creatures down below, these little slug-like things, have absolutely noticed Aramis and Kaz. So, as I hand things back over to the party, I am going to ask, and just give me a second here while I'm looking here. I am going to with these okay. So each one of you, Aramis and Kaz, have 2 each of these creatures that are basically burrowing into you. Now, Kaz, the thing that is burrowing into you is having a hard time doing so. Probably it's never had the opportunity to try to feed on Bellare. But to your horror, maybe, I don't know, you do feel this sense of a little bit of energy in your body flowing to this thing, as if it may have the power to suck energy even from a Bellare creature. Aramis, you have no such issue with the whole thing. It's just burrowing into your skin straight up. So I'm going to, first of all, roll a little damage for each of you, and then I'm going to ask what you're going to do to deal with this, and then I will sort of hand things over to you to see what you want to do next.
There's no resistance, or there's no saving throw in the whole.
There is going to be, what the heck is this? There is going to be a saving throw. There we go. Wait, what? Oh, the dice roller no longer exists? Oh, the dice roller is no longer there. Oh man, I've used that dice roller forever. The WotC dice roller now brings us up to a magic screen. So sad. I used that for a long time. Okay.
That sucks.
So in answer to your question about the resistance, no, unless you have specific resistance to piercing, which is what this actually is.
Resistance to slugs.
Resistance to slugs, yeah, pretty much. Okay, so Kaz, you're going to take 4 piercing damage.
Okay.
And Aramis, you are going to take... You are going to take 9 piercing damage. They seem to really like you.
With his nat 1, yeah.
And these 2 creatures are still burrowing into your respective skins. Now, I will also note very quickly, and then I will shut up and hand it over to you folks. But I do want to note one other thing, which is that as you're going down here, there is the consideration of what you need to do to prevent the other creatures that are up top from noticing that you're around. So just be aware of, thinking about all of that as you're heading down. You're also about 2/3 of the way down the pit, by the way, so you can see the passageway down below you. So now with that, Aramis, Kaz, what do you want to do about these creatures burrowing into you?
Zach, you haven't tweeted about it yet, so I don't know what we're supposed to do.
I'm sorry. I'm writing it right now.
Aramis takes
Give me a
5d6
second.
Twitter damage.
Give me a second.
5d6 tweet damage.
Let's see.
Isn't there a save against that? So, social embarrassment.
Yeah,
or something?
being Zach.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're not Zach, you don't get a save.
Yeah, you automatically save if you're me.
You automatically save.
Right, only if you're Zach. That's right.
Let's see. Okay, I've got a plan. Don't worry. Ooh. So I have an ability I've never used before
Called Destroy Slug.
called Destroy Slug.
Yeah.
And okay, I'm gonna do this without much thinking, which is gonna be fun. That's the way to have it be done. I have 2 of those slots. All right, Kaz will, as this grub bites into the suit and reveals not 3 raccoons but actual legitimate star material. Kaz will kind of look down at the escaping cloud of himself as he takes this wound, and will focus his Esper powers on it.
Okay.
To create an image, a phenomenon that is no larger than a 20-foot cube.
Okay.
I'm casting the illusory design talent, which I
Okay.
believe for our out-of-game context is somewhat equivalent to major image.
Okay.
I think. Basically, I can create something real that seems completely real, including sound, smells, temperature, using illusory design. It can't create heat or cold.
Okay.
Or really strong senses, but I guess what I'll do seems completely real except a physical touch. So I'm not so worried about the grubs that are on us. We'll take care of those, but I'm going to create an illusion that okay. I want to create an illusion right above my and Aramis's heads that makes it seem as though we are not there in every way. I just kind of want to use this illusion to make us disappear. So
Okay.
I want to overlay from the perspective of above us, I guess.
Okay.
An image that makes it seem as though the pit is untouched, and I'll also help and influence that with, like, if we're making a lot of sound descending, I'm going to mute the sound.
Okay. Just to be clear though, you're making, because it's two different things. You're making the pit look as if it has not been disturbed, or you disappear from it.
I don't know exactly how, like, if we're within the illusion, to what extent, like if I can effectively make myself invisible within it. I don't know what the limits are, but basically, if we're in like the bottom part of this funnel,
right?
I want that to be the focus of my 20-foot cube.
Yeah, I think you can do that. You realize that the cable gun, you're using the cable gun, right? That to sort of descend, that it will like appear to go into this illusory space, right?
I'm fine with that. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so you're able to do that with no problem. And actually, Sleepwell and Petra, you see as you're looking down in somewhat horror, all of a sudden, like Kaz and Aramis seem to wink out of existence. You can see the thing, like the cable leading down to them still, but like you don't see them anymore.
And
we don't have to make a save against that or anything to see if
you could. Well,
yeah, I guess
a creature that uses its action to examine the image can.
Yeah, you could make a check if you want.
Yeah.
So it'd be an investigation check, actually.
Mm-hmm. DC 15 against me. And whenever it comes up, then Kaz's next hope would be to.
They're gone, Sleepwell.
Yeah.
I knew it.
The room erupts.
They are gone.
With the same exact expression.
Yeah, exactly. Petra and Sleep are like, you just vanished. They just disappeared completely.
Have we, my grappling gun, I tied off a rope so that I think either Sleepwell or Petra is actually holding, that is like a connector piece. But anyway, the grappling rope itself extends down 50 feet. So are we at the bottom of that yet?
Yes, you are just about to the bottom of it when this happens. It's one of the reasons that you hit those eggs is because there was less room to go left and right. Okay, so you've made that illusion. But in the process of doing that, it doesn't sound like you're also getting rid of these creatures yet, right? Like
yeah, that would be my action. So I'm expecting to still be bitten at least once more.
Aramis, what about you? Pull out an air mattress.
How far across is this pit?
By this point, you're down to maybe just like 8 or 9 feet because you're right at the very bottom of this funnel.
Okay, but what about the mouth? How big is the mouth?
Oh, the mouth is probably 60 feet, I would say. It's a pretty big pit.
And how far down are we in sort of like relative?
You would be, I believe, about 50 feet, I want to say. Let me double check. I think it's about 40 feet, actually. So you're right at the edge of it, like at the end, almost down to the bottom.
All right, bad idea averted. I'm just going to pull things off my body.
Okay.
As long as I don't have to struggle to hold on to Zach while I'm doing it.
You do not, I don't think. One of them you're actually able to pull off and just squish without difficulty, fortunately. There is one more on you, which you'll have to deal with after it bites you. Kaz has still got 2 that are biting it. Yeah. You do have one other issue with this, by the way, Kaz, which is that when it bites you, you are going to have to make a concentration check. It is concentration.
That is a good point.
So we've got here 4 points of damage to Aramis this time, of piercing again. And oh no, I'm sorry. I take that back. You only took 1 because you squished one of them. So only 1 point of damage. I take that back. And
I feel so much better already.
Yes, this is great. I'm being bitten so much less. Okay, but unfortunately, Kaz does take both, and this is going to be 7 points. And I will need you to make a concentration check, please, for me.
Okay. All right. Oh yeah, so that's a con saving throw, right?
Yes.
Constitution saving throw?
That'll be con saving throw, yep.
Trying to hit a 10. All right, it's probably not going to go well. Nope.
Oh, you imagine into
Illusion
existence.
is
So,
right off.
so Sleepwell and Petra see them like completely vanish, and then see them like reappear again at the bottom of the thing, and like
Covered in slugs.
covered in
Pulling-
slugs. Yeah, well,
slugs.
fortunately, not as many now. At least Aramis only has one, although Aramis looks pretty upset, like on about everything. And Kaz seems to be, I don't know who can tell what Kaz's emotions really are, but he seems,
Yeah.
somehow not himself totally. But you now see them again. They're almost at the bottom.
How far is the drop from where we're floating?
5 feet now. You're just about the bottom.
I will let go of the
Okay.
grappling, the rope.
Okay. So you do that, and doom, you hit the ground not very far, and the passageway extends off to the west, basically, and so it goes off in that direction, and you could, if you wish, head down it once you get there.
I will.
Oh, and by the way, is Aramis still hanging on, or is Aramis also going to drop?
That's up to him.
Aramis is definitely going to drop.
Okay, so you're also, it doesn't require a check because you're so far above the ground. So you were able to drop, and then Aramis, are you doing anything else besides dropping? You have this one remaining slug on you.
Pulling the slug off of me.
Okay, so you squish that. Kaz, you've still got 2 on you.
If I do I still have my action? Like, is dropping
Yes,
part
you
of
can.
my?
You can.
Okay.
You can take one off as an action. Yes.
Could I, if I pull out my energy shiv, I have 2 attacks. Could I try to make 1 on each?
I don't think so, because these creatures, if you were doing full out attacks, you'd actually be kind of literally hitting yourself.
Yeah.
So it's not quite the same thing.
Okay.
would
So
say.
then I'll focus on 1 then.
So you're able to crush that with no problem, which means only one of them hurts you for 4 points of damage.
Okay.
And at that point, you could remove the other one if you wish.
I do.
And so now there's just a bunch of ichor and squished slugs on the ground. And now you're 40 feet below, and if you look up, you can see Petra and Sleepwell, I imagine, looking rather confused down at you as you look back up at them.
I give them a thumbs up wordlessly and gesture for them to come follow. Assuming didn't you say, Arv, that like there was some sort of reaction in the funnel itself?
The eggs had all sort of like as one egg hit the other, like they all just kind of but there's still a number of eggs sort of higher up around the pit, which you didn't hit, but a lot of the eggs down below are sort of split open, and you stomped on a bunch of them. Some of them are not moving, but there's none of them that are on you. So that was the reaction that there was.
So
So,
I look at Petra, yeah, and I'm like, so I know we didn't see some of that because a temporal rift opened and made them disappear.
Yeah, that was weird.
That backfired.
Thank goodness, space and time aligned again, and now they're okay. Are we gonna follow them?
Yeah, I think we've got to. I don't know that we need to do the blip out of existence and back in thing that they did. But...
I mean, the slugs were bad enough, but I'm worried that we're gonna just enter this like phantom zone that we can't escape from.
I think this is a genuine worry.
Yeah. All right, let's go. So I guess you're gonna have to tie that off somewhere. The grappling hook that you're holding on to.
Okay.
Oh, I guess the smarter way to do it would be to pull it up, put the hook on this end, descend with the gun in hand, and then undo the whole thing on the way bottom.
Okay. I think you can do that. You're going to have to make the same dexterity check as both of you and Petra will, as Kaz and Aramis did.
Yeah, I assume.
On the way down. So as you kind of make your way down carefully, and I assume Petra's probably, doing some of the like if if you're holding on to Petra and Petra's sort of lowering herself, that's one option, or you can just kind of go down separately, but both on the same cable, if you will.
Yeah.
I'm curled like a kitty around her neck.
Okay. So as Petra makes her way down, so yeah, I would need both of you please to make dexterity checks as you head down.
Sorry.
Oh dear.
Well, we'll talk about that in a minute. Sleep well. How'd you do?
Dexterity, not a save, just a straight roll, right?
That's right. Just straight check. Yeah. It might be a save in a minute now.
Well,
Okay. So, you managed to, I mean, it's not the slickest thing in the world, sleep well, but you're feeling fairly good about the fact that you're like, okay, I managed to avoid like go left, dodge right, whatever. And you're like, all right, we're all set. And you look up happily to sort of express your feelings to Petra, at which point you see that Petra has like, in the midst of your doing this, has kind of banged an elbow into one of the eggs and and again, these slugs rain down upon your skin. Let's see how many each one of you have land on you. Let's see.
I'll silently mouth. Sorry.
For everything. Two of these land on Petra, and
Oh, no.
two of them land on Sleepwell. I was silently rooting for 4 to land on Sleepwell, just be like, God damn it. But no, 2 each are on top of you. So they're going to get a chance to bite you before you can figure out what to do with these creatures. Unless you, again, if you have resistance to piercing, that would help. But if not, then it looks like Petra's going to take 5 points of damage of piercing. And
Alrighty.
Sleepwell's going to take 6 as these things bite into your skin.
okay.
And now you can deal with them, or try to.
Yeah, immediately I am going to say, like, I knew it! These things are carnivorous monsters! And I'm going to just start squishing away.
Okay, so you're able to squish one. It gets one more bite off you before you then squish the other. Thank you for the resub, Brakad. Appreciate it, man. What's up, dude? 46 months. Wow, thanks, man. Okay, so you were able to squish it. It does 4 more points of damage before you remove the other one. But now they're all off you, Sleepwell. In the meantime, what about you, Petra, with these two? Are you also squishing away, theoretically?
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna squish.
All right, so this one decides to bite 5 points off of you before it, too, falls to its squishy doom as you obliterate it. And now you are safe from it, and coincidentally, you're also now near the bottom of the pit, as you see Aramis and Kaz have made room for you. They're standing in a bunch of, like, dead slugs, you think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I sort of like whispered shout, like the, hey, do this. And I say up to Petra, when you jump down, click the grappling gun so it disconnects and you bring it with you.
I will do that.
Okay, and you do, and click, and zzz. And now you're at the bottom of this passageway. I should describe, by the way, the passageway extends off to the west. You all feel a little unsettled down here. It's not that there's anything obviously wrong, but it just, something about the passageway feels off. Something about the dimensions, or maybe it's sloped strangely or something. Kaz has to actually crouch a little bit because it's a little small. Kaz is pretty tall, obviously, but it feels off to all of you. Having said that, nothing terrible happens. It's just you feel uncomfortable.
So at this point, Sleepwell is in full high dudgeon mode right now. Like I told you so in every gesture and supercilious raise of the eyebrow. But I say, like, okay, so I can. Actually, I just thought of something. I'm so sorry. I just paused. I have my 4 robots with me, who are, I think, still on the lip of the.
Right. I was gonna say, I hope they didn't come down with you, or we'd have more discussions about things.
Yeah, they didn't come down. That sucks. We just lost half our party.
You see them peering down at you, Sleepwell.
And I just in Volno sign language, I'm like, take a nap. Just
Okay.
hang out, because what are we gonna do? Like set off everybody and like yeah.
I was gonna say just have them leap down dramatically and set off every.
Just like explode on the bottom.
Yeah, that'd be great.
I think I'll just have them hang there for a little bit. But I'm gonna cast Micro Stabilizer on Petra.
Okay.
Petra, to remind you, I think I've done this to you before, but Micro Stabilizer, if you go to 0 hit points or below, you go to 1 hit point. You basically stabilize immediately. Or if you fail a death save, you'll immediately make a death save. So if something like is going to kill you immediately, you automatically make that save 1 time. Last for 8
Awesome.
hours.
Got it.
This is not concentration, right, Carlos?
Not
For that one.
it's just 8 hours.
Okay. Cool. Okay. All right. So you are now standing at the bottom of this uncomfortably, somehow, I don't know, shaped or represented passage.
I think all of us can kind of see in the dark. So is that the full extent of our dark vision that's represented there?
It's because the passageway does extend a little further, and then it's one of those not seen on this map. But I will describe. I will describe what you see. It extends down and then sort of bends out of sight. It looks like it might be sloping upwards, but you can't quite tell. So that area that you see is sort of the end of the passageway, the sort of normal passageway as you see it. Then it sort of bends up. So if I were to freehand it, like going in that direction, roughly speaking, that's what you see. Maybe not quite that steep, but in the general idea of the passageway.
Okay.
Aramis is going to drop to one knee and do exactly as the kid did before and kind of feel the situation, feel the, I think he called it the flow or something.
Yes. As you do so, putting your hand through the, dead grub bodies and all that, dead slug bodies. Yes. I think I had you make for this. Were you doing Esper Sense on this, Aramis?
I don't remember there being an actual
Maybe it wasn't
roll.
just a check. I think it was just you were reaching down. Yeah.
Yeah, it was a
So,
wisdom check, I think.
what's that again?
I think it was a wisdom check.
It might have
That
been a
was-
wisdom check. I thought that.
Hold on, I'm going back to the scroll now, so keep going. I mean, you said survival, I think was what it was.
Oh, survival? Okay.
Might have
It
been.
looks, or maybe it was either. Okay, I've got a survival roll and I've got an
is-
insight roll.
Astrophysics, obviously.
Right.
No, I think you're right about survival. I think that's right. Because there's several of those rolls, and I think that's what we did.
Okay.
Because there were insight checks, but I think that was relating to something else. So, so let's have it be survival for you. As you have your hand on there, 25.
About 25.
25 is
Yeah.
pretty good.
Sure, why not? Let's start that.
Yes, the flow definitely feels somewhat stronger here. There are feelings of occasional disruptions, which is one of the things that you were trying to feel, like if the creatures are getting in the way of the flow. But it's hard to tell whether that's because things are coming or whether there's just a lot of them. Because as you look around the passageway, you can see the walls of this passageway here are glistening, as if of some kind of slime of some sort. And in fact, the passageway itself seems somewhat rather more rounded than might be normal. So it's rough-hewn, but also the sides of the passage are glistening and as if coated by some kind of liquid.
All right, I'm not going to say what's going through my head. I'm going to ask one other question instead. Is there any vision that comes along with that as I'm touching whatever,
Not at the moment, no.
Okay.
Not like what you had in the other room.
Okay. And then Aramis will relay all of that to the party and say, I don't even want to think where we're headed. So, options?
Well, we can't go back up. So, forward.
I hope we find another exit, because if we're trying to grab Sorium and bring it back out, right? Getting it up again. I mean,
Yeah.
we do have on us that old disc platform. There was that guy who didn't have legs and he floated around on it. We got it repaired, and then we were going to turn it into a shield, but never turned it into a
Never
shield.
worked, yeah.
But it, I think it can still float. So maybe that's an option. It won't carry us up, but we can find another way. Anyway, should one of us scout first? I could scout, maybe. I don't know.
I think that's a good idea.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
As you scout forward, what's your demeanor, Kaz? Are you trying to avoid being noticed, or like what's your
I will
state?
crawl on my hands and knees and do my best to be stealthy.
Okay.
And crawl until I find something other than just tunnel.
Okay. Let me have you make a stealth check for me, please.
Okay.
I'm going to have you do this at -2. This is not the easiest thing to stay stealthy under these conditions.
Acceptable. Okay, good.
Oh.
That's
It wanted to be a
18.
1. It
Yeah,
really did.
Yep.
Um,
You saw that too. Yep.
But you move fairly quietly, actually, through the tunnel. It extends probably up and, slowly sloping upwards, maybe about 30 or 40 feet. And then you get to a small chamber, and I mean quite small, like maybe 10 to 15 feet around at most. But from the chamber, there are no fewer than 6 passageways extending. The one that you came from and 5 others, almost in a radius above you, or around you, I should say.
Okay.
So there's like 5 other passageways, all of which look to be roughly the same size, and they're going, in various directions, obviously.
Can I see any sign of more? I hesitate to say foot traffic because it's probably not feet doing this. But...
No, but there are more eggs here
Okay.
on the walls.
All right. So
And as you
no-
look up, the ceiling too.
Yeah. Okay. Great. So no visual indication of a path that's treaded more with like a slug trail or
No,
anything.
does not look,
Okay.
no. They all look about the same.
All right.
In fact, it looks like
Right.
very little foot, in quotes, traffic of any kind down here.
Got it.
I mean, snails and slugs have feet. You talk about the foot
Just
of a
one.
slug.
Yeah.
That's true.
I will crawl back stealthily and describe to the party what I saw
Okay.
and
Good work, Triffid. Pedestrian traffic. Nice work.
pedestrian.
Good stuff. That's good work.
And assuming we wish to return, I guess we would. They could follow me back to that chamber.
Yeah, I'm ready to follow.
Okay.
Aramis, Petra following too?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay. So you're able to make your way up there. You can tell me if you wish to be stealthy, but there's nothing that you seen that was obvious that required a cause. So if you folks are just going at a normal, regular kind of walk, then you make your way up this fairly mild slope until you get to this room that has the aforementioned 5, not counting the one that you came from, exits out of the room, passageways leading out of the room.
What do we think?
Yeah, so can we just sort of like peer, use our dark vision 30 feet and see each of the 5?
Yeah,
Yes.
what do
Let
we
me
think?
have everyone who's doing that. Let me have you make perception checks for me, please.
Passive perception not going to work for this one.
Not for this, no, because it's not. You're actively trying to see something down the hallway, actually, or the passageway.
Okay.
Okay. I see some good possibilities.
There is.
Mhm,
Okay. So it looks like we got a 26, we have a 14, we have a 25, we have a 16. Okay. Yeah, I would say the thing that you notice is that some of these passageways are definitely darker and more fetid, maybe even, than the others. Some of the tunnels feel a little warmer in an uncomfortable way than the others. But the one in particular that I would say, which certainly Sleepwell notices, and Kaz as well, Kaz and Sleepwell both, is that the passageway that is not immediately ahead of you, but just to the right and up, so basically northeast, that is, 1, sloping a little more steeply than the others. 2, you think going roughly in the direction of where the room would have been on the other end of the pit that you were heading to. And 3 is cooler, as if it's heading closer to the surface.
Okay.
That one seems to stand out from the others somewhat more.
Oh,
Okay.
so I was gonna say like, oh, why would if we're going to the surface, that would be the exit, but no, that's probably another part of the factory, and where we need to find
Yeah.
the stuff.
We have
Yeah.
to get back to the base level that we have
Yes.
descended, you know,
Yeah.
and I think that's the way. And I'm curious about all these other weird passages too, you know.
I
Like there could be storage and stuff, so
yeah. The warmest one might even lead back to their hive or something.
right. Maybe we should take the one all the way east, the one that's next to the one that is sloping up first, and just scout it out a little bit.
Sure.
Okay.
Are there eggs covering the passageways, or is it just in these rooms?
There are a few eggs in the passageways, but the overwhelming majority of the eggs are in the rooms that you've, like this room that you're in right here.
And one other question is, do we have any sense of air currents, other than the fact that one passage is cooler?
I was going to say that's the only one that might have air current. Otherwise, everything, the air is very still and stuffy and quite humid down here.
Ugh.
I agree with Sleepball. We should at least check our answers before moving forward.
All right.
Okay.
So, Kaz, you want to just use your
Sure.
powers of stealth to investigate that easternmost one?
Sure. Kaz will use his powers of stealth to investigate the easternmost one.
Okay. I am going to ask you to make a stealth check for me, please, as you head to the east.
Any minus to this one?
No. This one is because you are crouched over a little bit, but this one is not as how do I put it, squishy. You're a little bit higher than you were before, so.
9.
Well, so, you make your way kind of carefully down the passage, and all of you are watching with interest and hear occasionally like, kind of echoes a couple times, as it goes down. And then, Kaz, you find yourself coming to an area as you peer ahead that seems to be particularly dark, and that's odd because obviously, you can see through some of this, but it seems to be sort of your vision is obscured, and you kind of sort of peer more closely, and as you grow close to it, but it feels like it's quite dark in the area ahead of you as you continue to do the
To the point where my vision cannot see through.
Yes, correct. And you tell me if you want to stop moving or keep going. It's up to you.
I will. Oh, okay. I will stoop down to the ground.
Okay.
And am carefully feeling around now ahead of me for one of two things.
Okay.
Either a sudden drop, and therefore the reason why I can't see any further, or that this darkness is actually a creature that is obscuring my vision. So
Okay.
I'm very, very gently feeling ahead of myself with my hands.
So you feel ahead of yourself, and then your hand is feeling the sort of the damp, slick, sort of still semi-rock-like, texture of the floor, and you feel that, and then you feel as if you've pushed down onto something that feels like rubberized and soft, and suddenly the darkness ahead of you comes alive, and you see two massive, red, and apparently rotating eyes. I need you to make a charisma saving throw for me, Kaz.
I stare back at it curiously. All right, charisma saving throw, my favorite. That's it's good old +1. But watch, I'm gonna get a natural 20. Nope, that's a 9. Okay.
So as you sit there, you are fascinated, like just utterly amazed, like wow. And you find these eyes just deeply intriguing, and
Yeah.
you know, you've never seen anything that's like this, and it's
Uh-uh.
it's super cool, and
Beautiful.
I need you to roll an 8-sided die for me, please.
Sure. I would love to. How about a 3?
You just sit there watching the eyes of this creature.
Wow.
Now the three of you, Aramis, Petra, and Sleepwell, you heard this, you know, and you can just see the sort of backside slightly of Kaz, and Kaz seems to have stopped and is just not moving. Rotating in a circle, Rock God.
Do you think he's okay? He seems to have stopped.
Yeah, I don't want to blow his cover if he's being stealthy though.
Yeah, that's definitely true. One doesn't want to yell out, "Hey, how's it going?" when someone's trying to be stealthy. But I don't know. This seems very odd.
Yeah. You know, just sort of like watching for 6 seconds.
Yeah. Yeah, I was about to
Yeah.
say. Yeah, does anything change after a round?
Yes, you need to roll an 8-sided die again.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
4.
You continue to be fascinated beyond belief with this thing.
Aramis, do you have any thoughts? Why is he just standing there?
Yeah.
I don't like any of my thoughts. I think we better go one at a time. And I'm gonna say, do we still have a rope or something? Does anybody have a rope?
Well,
yeah.
Petra has the grapple gun still.
Yep.
Yeah.
Which has like 50 feet of rope attached to it too.
I'm sorry. I've seen too many movies like this, and I'm just having a little bit of a problem. But and you see Aramis just kind of like trying to verbalize what's going on from just allow just use the grappling gun to allow it to run all of its wire, and if I don't come back in exactly 10 seconds, you just retract it, pull me back, pull whatever's left back. And Aramis takes the end and walks forward towards Kaz.
Okay. Are you doing, and you're doing so just sort of at a regular pace, would you say, Aramis? You're trying to be...
I'm being a little bit more cautious, but I'm not being stealthy about it.
Gotcha. Okay.
Because we can see Kaz there.
Yeah.
So I'm not
right.
concerned that I'm gonna be able to see, or something's not gonna see me directly coming down the passageway.
Kaz, I need you to make a saving throw for me, please. A charisma saving throw again. And then, Aramis, we're going to talk about what you see when you get to the end of your rope. This is the most fascinating set of eyes. Please roll an 8-sided die for me.
Of course. Of course. How about a 1 this time?
I mean, wow. Just, right?
Yeah.
Can we all appreciate just wow, really?
Wow. The
And
windows
Aramis,
to the soul,
and
truly.
you come across, when you come right behind Kaz, you are suddenly confronted by 2 large, red, rotating, not googly eyes, Rock God, rotating like discs eyes. And I need you to make a charisma saving throw for me, Aramis.
Just a charisma saving throw?
Just a charisma saving throw, yes.
All right, well.
Yeah. So when this thing, when you feel like your mind, like you feel you're getting hazy, and then like, ugh, and you shake it off, and you realize the reason that you have had this reaction, and Kaz, almost like slightly swaying back and forth, is looking at the eyes of a massive, I would say, slug-like creature with 2 horns on the top of its head that almost look like antennae, tentacles trailing out of its mouth, and 2 massive eyes. Folks, I would like all of us to do something I like to call roll initiative, please.
Oh!
God.
No!
That's what I'd like us to
No.
do, and that is what we're going to do. And so,
No!
I love it.
No!
Yes, I am ready.
No!
I was born for this. You see, Aramis, as you approach Kaz, you see that the little star soup inside my suit is all like spinning in a circle like a washing machine. Oh,
Whoa, I'm getting some feedback of something.
That's
That's what
crazy.
this,
What is
the
that?
suit
That's what it sounds.
like.
That's what it's like.
Yeah,
That's totally what it's like. It's
I have a feeling
completely.
it's coming from Carlos.
I think it is because it's not coming from mine. Is muted on my end, so
Yeah.
Yeah,
Sounds
it
like
might
you have a
been,
slug
like,
in
I
your
just full
computer.
of dice, so maybe just roll 20 freaked out on me. Sorry.
I think
about
that could be.
Okay.
Okay, we got a
Initiative, here we
19
go.
for Sleepwell. We got a 13 for Petra. We have a 20 for Aramis, who has reason to be like, oh crap. And then we have an 18
18.
for Kaz. Good initiative rolls, everyone.
Uh-huh.
Too bad it got a 35. No, I'm just kidding. All right.
A
Let's
plus
see.
15 to initiative.
So good. No, not so much. Okay. Right. Okay. First to act then is going to be. Let's see. Oh, actually, I should have had add turn. I forgot to do that before. So we get this way so people can see it on chat as well. Okay. Cause the mesmerized. Petra the hammer ready.
Mesmeritis.
Sleep well the I told you so-ish. And Aramis, who is seeing things and doesn't like what he sees. Okay, and Aramis is going to have a chance to go first. Aramis, what would you like to do? You're facing this big thing which almost sort of sways, and you can tell now that it's actually inside kind of a room. Not a big room, but its body is glistening with the same stuff that seems to be glistening on the walls. And you can see it as it kind of moves around. And obviously its red eyes are there. And you get the impression, Aramis, that these red eyes are a problem.
How far down the passageway are we?
You're probably about, I would say, a good 50 feet.
Right at the end of that rope.
Yeah,
Right at the end of that room.
exactly.
Which wouldn't Petra have been under the commands to pull you back when it's her turn?
Could be. I mean, you didn't do anything yet. you just told me, like, I
Yeah.
just see this thing.
Wow. How far in front of us are the eyes?
5 feet, 6 feet.
Does that count as partial cover?
Partial cut. I mean, from the other side. Yeah,
I'm just
nothing
asking just
is
because-
going to attack you from the other side of this slug. That's for sure.
No, I'm
I
asking
think
if
he's
Zach,
asking
is
if-
protecting
yeah,
me.
If I am.
Oh yeah. I suppose, yeah. But not partial cover from the eyes. You get
Right.
the impression, Aramis, that this is going to be, a problem.
Oh, hell. Aramis fires up Flaming Disc
Okay.
and fires 2 off immediately at each of the eyes. One at each of the eyes.
Okay. Go ahead and make your attack roll, please.
Give me just 1 second as I do this. And then... okay, let's do this first. Where is it? Okay, sorry. Apparently it's not set up anymore. Uh, 15 and an 18.
15 will miss. 18 will hit.
All right. And then damage on these things again is crap. Where'd it go? Of course not. Give me 1 second.
Okay. This thing sways back and forth. You hear squishing sounds, but otherwise nothing much.
Okay.
Flaming discs do 75 times normal damage to slug.
How about 15?
All right. So they slam into it, and you hear And the rest of you hear that too, and there's a little splash of ichor, and the creature sort of riles back, and as it does so, you hear this like a rumbling coming from its stomach, its belly, its body, but something is making some terrible rumbling sound. So you've attracted its attention. And Aramis, what would you like to do after having done that?
I will grab onto the back of Zach's suit and I will slowly begin to move back, going, we got some trouble down here. Grappling hook now, please.
Okay, so we'll talk about that. Petra will be able to react to that when we get to her turn. Okay, Sleepo, you were up next. You just heard what Aramis said. You saw flaming discs. You heard a... because you all heard that.
Right. I'm going to hold my action until Petra pulls them back.
Okay. Okay. Sounds good. What are you going to hold your action specifically to do,
I'm
Sleepo?
going to hold a toxic burst.
Okay. Got it. All right, so you will do that. Kaz, I need you to make another saving throw, please, for me. Charisma.
17.
Maybe it's the combination. You feel something pulling you, and then you're like, all of a sudden, you feel like, and you turn around, you see it's Aramis. You're like, what is this thing? And this, thing swaying back and forth in front of you. And you remember just these, something red glowing eyes, but your will is your own. And you can act.
Is it my turn?
Yes.
Oh,
That's
okay.
why you had to do the saving throw.
All right. And I can still see the rotating eyes.
At the moment, your vision has been broken from them. At the moment, you can see the thing, though. I mean, you can definitely see the thing.
So you're saying I can see it, but I'm no longer under its sway.
You can see the creature. You can't see its eyes.
Oh, okay.
At the moment, because it's like,
I will just do whatever I can to speed up our return to the main chamber, and I won't take a shot, won't do anything.
You just kind of book it.
Yeah, I'll just kind of book it back.
Now I should say, when you do that, you might be provoking an attack of opportunity from this thing. Aramis did not, because Aramis was behind you and also was pulling you back slowly. But now that this creature is moving, now you might get lucky because it's also reacting to having just been hit. So it might not provoke. I'm just letting you know it's possible.
Could
But
I?
you need the disengage action, right?
Yeah.
He could disengage, yes, you could do that. You could certainly disengage 5 and then move regular. So just basically, you could double move, essentially. And that you could probably do.
I'll do that.
Okay, yeah. And you're able to do so. So you're able to make your way back down till you're close to I guess you're about 15 feet or so from the beginning of the passage, which is a good thing because it's now the creature's turn to go. And all of you have now that, Kaz and Aramis are mostly down the passageway, all of you get the rather disturbing experience of seeing this thing, and then it, for all the world, looking like a creature in some otherworldly water planet, from like an aquatic creature, diving up and then down, and the ground rumbles below your feet, and suddenly this creature is gone. It has burrowed into the earth.
Fun.
And I mean, gone. Like, it burrowed faster than you were walking.
Okay.
That was disturbing, and I think we should move quickly.
Yep.
Yes.
You don't see it at the moment, but you sure feel. Petra, it is your turn.
I'll pull the grappling gun as fast as I can.
So you're all like,
And-
pull
Yeah, they're like going slowly, and something just.
Yep. Reel them in.
And then I'll say, we need to move fast. That thing's gonna come back.
Okay. Which direction? Now you did that. You can also then start moving in a direction if you like, Petra. Which way do you want to go? As a reminder, you went down that far east passage, basically, which was next to the sloping cooler one. If that helps.
I think we should. I don't know, folks. Oops, we've lost Johnny there.
Yeah, I know the pictures are messed up, folks. We'll get them as soon as Johnny comes back.
What do you think, you folks, as far as direction to go in?
Probably the cooler passage that seems like the other room. Maybe.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Well, let's double time it that way, and we will, Arv,
Okay.
move quickly.
Bear with me. I've almost got
But
just getting the windows
quickly
fixed.
but alertly.
There we go. Got it back. Okay, quickly but alertly. So I'm sorry, you said you're moving back towards the way you came?
Back to that cooler slope.
Oh, to the cooler slope.
Slope.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, because it's right next there. Yeah, you can actually start climbing up that slope immediately.
Okay.
And you're able to make your way up. You notice that it glistens considerably less up here, and
good.
it does feel cooler as you're making your way up this slope. And you're all able to get up, whatever it would be, 50, 55 feet if you're double moving. Actually, you can't double move because you had to pull the cable thing first, Petra. So
Okay.
you do that and then you walk up. So you're walking up like 30 feet, say. And that brings us to the top of the round with Aramis. Aramis, you're moving along with Petra pulling you along as well.
How far is this passageway that we're going up? Like are we seeing the end of it? Do we know what
Not yet.
the deal is there?
It seems to extend a fair distance up, sloping, and again, not a steep slope, but definitely sloping upward.
And we're seeing the same sort of like surface material, the slime and everything else around
But
it. Although it's
yes,
slightly
but
cooler.
less so. Yes.
Okay. Aramis is going to hold his action and walk with the group, but
Okay.
the action, what I'm holding it for, is an appearance of one of the eyes.
Okay. When you see it, what are you going to do, theoretically?
Flaming discs.
Okay. Gotcha. Okay. Sleep well. Nothing came close to you for your action, but it's your turn again normally. So.
Right. But so then, just to know, I lose that spell that I had prepared. Is that correct? Or is that-
No, because you didn't actually fire it off. You just had it held to be used, so you don't lose it.
All right. So then, I guess what I'd like to do is basically go up the passageway that Petra was going up. How far can I see in the direction I'm going?
So, you
Basically,
can.
when I get next to her.
Okay.
What do I see?
So when you get next to her, if you catch up to her, because you don't have to, you did not do anything first, so you could actually even go faster than her if you wanted. Once you catch up to her, it looks like the passageway extends at least another, I would say 40 or 50 feet up. And then it bends off to the east again, but it still seems to be, it almost looks like it's curving and sloped up. So it's still like a passageway that is rough hewn, but it definitely is moving up even as it banks to the right. That's what you see.
Okay. So I'm just gonna quickly look at Petra and see if she's suggesting just with her eyes if I run forward or if I try to protect the group in the rear. Just looking meaningfully at Petra, see if there's any hint there of what she would want.
Sure. Run forward, little sleep well, if you wish.
Run, Sleepo, run! Yeah, I do, but now I go into a more stealth mode as I approach up.
Okay. Okay. I will come back to that thing about the stealth thing. So just between you and me, everyone that was fascinated by their eyes, are they marked now? Let me just make a quick note to myself, Rock God. And I'm going to move down to Kaz. Kaz, what would you like to do as you're feeling still a little odd from this whole experience?
Yeah. I will kind of like pulling up one of the data pads that I use to journal or collect information. I'm like, I think this might be the tunneler. The kid was telling us that it's something strange with the eyes. There's other ones that spit acid too, so that should be fun. And I'm running still with the group. I will use my action to cast Quick Step on myself.
Okay.
And that increases my movement speed from 25, because I'm kind of a slow tank of a suit, to 35.
Okay.
So just a little quicker. And
Is that an
that's my
action to
turn.
cast that? quick step?
I think so, yes.
Okay, so
Yeah.
you're just going to be able to go 35, which is fine.
Yep.
Also, one note, your party members can let people pass by with no problem, but these passageways are not big enough to go like 2 by 2. So just be aware. You can walk past someone if they let you by, but it is single file basically that you're going up.
Yeah, I'll still stay in the single file. though.
Okay, sounds good. Sleepwell, I need you, please, to make for me a perception check.
Good at those. Let's hope it holds up.
And actually, what's your passive perception, Sleepwell, too? Sorry.
Well, yeah, I'll look at that. Not a great roll, so 13. And passive perception is on the character sheet. Oh shoot, I never filled that out. So it's 10 plus perception skill, so that would be 14.
Okay, 14 is not enough to give you advantage on this. So, okay, so you're dealing with a 13.
I'm proficient in it though, so do I add that to my passive perception also? If I'm
I believe that's right. Actually, I don't remember. Do you remember that, Zach? I don't
Yeah, you
remember.
do.
I think you do have proficiency. So
It's
yes. So then you
Yeah.
would.
The
yeah, so
entire
if I,
perception
yeah,
skill.
so then it's 8. So 18 is my passive.
Oh, okay. That's good enough. So that's good because Sleepwell, you feel and you stop dead just before this thing bursts through the wall.
Oh,
and
God.
basically it's the same thing that you saw before. You don't see its eyes yet, but you sure as hell see its mandibles as this thing bursts through and tries to bite you. But it would have been doing this at advantage had you not made those rolls. So instead you're able to stop before it does this. It's going to make 3 attacks. 2 with its claws. And the thing I want to point out is when it broke through, it didn't break through with like the walls explode. It's almost as if the walls almost melted around it.
Fun.
Is the-
Lovely.
Yeah, I thought you'd all like that. Okay, so first of all, it's going to try to hit you with 2 claws. That is a 19 and an 11.
19 hits.
Okay, and then with its mandibles, a 21 to hit.
21 misses. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, I was like, really? Okay, so for the claw hit, that is going to be 8 slashing damage, Sleepwell.
Okay.
And for the mandible hit, that is not fun, that one. Yeah, that's 18 points of slashing
Yeah.
damage as it
Wow.
and you feel it crunch through your fur.
That has me at just a total of 44 hook points now.
Yep.
The damage I did earlier, just so that we're all keeping up with things.
Yep, so you're at 44 out of 78, yes?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So it's there, and it's now in front of you, and as it's just sort of there, sitting in front of you at the moment, blocking the tunnel. You don't see the eyes yet, just the claws and the mandibles, but it is in front of you. So that's going to lead us to Petra, and you just felt and then this thing come out at Sleepwell.
Can I reach this thing to hit it?
I think you can probably reach it because you weren't that far behind Sleepwell when you began to accelerate. So yes, I think so. Sleepwell would have to let you pass by. I doubt very much Sleepwell will have a problem with you exchanging places.
I mean, you can
with
at
him.
least say, excuse me.
Yeah, exactly.
Excuse me, Sleepwell, and then I will hit it twice. A 26.
Wow, that will, yes,
Believe that
absolutely.
hit. And an 11.
11 will miss,
Presuming
but
the
the
11 does not hit.
26 will hit though. A lot.
I am trying to. Oh, this does 1d8 plus 3. Seven points.
7 points. Okay. So again, you hit it. It definitely takes all of that, and again, it sort of raises up, and again, every time it moves, the tunnel doesn't, like you would expect normally something like this would be like impacting the wall and there'd be like pebbles and
Right.
rocks falling, but instead it's like everywhere it moves, it just melts the rock around it.
So weird. Okay.
Okay, so you're now in front of it and you have gotten in its grill. And that's going to bring us up to Aramis, who is up next. Aramis, this thing has arrived. Now, I should have said the flaming disc thing wasn't an option for you because you already had Sleepwell in front of, like there was no way to get at it. But you can now, if you wish, come up. Now, it's going to be a little hard because I think you could maybe, fire your discs over Sleepwell. I don't know that you can do that over Sleepwell and Petra and bank off the 8-ball and hit that. Like, I think there's probably a little bit too much in your way at the moment, unless you sort of move maybe in front of Sleepwell. You might be able to do that and try to get a hit. It's going to be hard to get a ranged attack off on this thing, though, given the close quarters.
Can we see beyond it?
No. Decidedly
it's filling
not.
the entire path. Yeah, it's
well, except for the part where it kind of it did sort of raise up, so you kind of do see a little bit of the tunnel on the top of it that it's kind of cleared out, but it just leads to more tunnel wall. Like you don't see anything up there. It's just more rock and dirt. Like your whole reaction to this whole fight has been God, what
how exposed is Sleepwell in this situation next to this thing? Is he like right in front of it to the point where it's difficult, or are we going to be able to?
Right now, Petra is really the one in front of Sleepwell. Sleepwell is right behind Petra. So you could try to exchange positions with Sleepwell if Sleepwell will let you. And then I'd say you might be able to get off a ranged attack on the thing, because it's pretty big, even though Petra's in front of you. It's just you can't do that over 2 of your party members, that's all.
What if I do it under? Can I go between their legs?
Go between their legs.
Like go down and just like shoot something off between their legs. Or maybe even between... Look,
I'll tell you what. I'll give you that, but you're going to do it at a -3.
All right.
And if you miss, you hit Sleepwell. No, I'm just kidding. So...
Yeah, that's not what I wanted to do.
Yeah, the Sleepwell and Petra, you sort of hear this like, bzz, bzz, and all of a sudden, to your horror, you look down and there's like this lightning thing right at the ground below your legs. Exactly, Wenchkin. Oh my, yes. Sadly, you do not hit.
Apparently not.
It's not a to hit. It says the creature has to make a con save, right?
Oh, I have to make a con save. Yeah, what's the range on Lightning Whip?
120 feet.
Oh, wait a minute then. So I was thinking that this was a to hit roll.
Hold on a second. Go ahead.
Is it like?
I'm double checking it right now.
Yeah, because I want to confirm
If you
that.
hover over it in roll 20, that 1 is 1d10 the damage that would be dealt if it.
It has to be a roll for hit. That's weird that it only rolled the damage. So let me actually roll the two.
No, it's a range. A lightning whip is a ranged channeling attack.
Oh, that's really weird then.
On a hit, the target takes 1d10 lightning damage. Blah blah blah. So it is a ranged channeling attack. So you do have to attack it.
Okay, that's weird that it has a save built in then.
Yeah, I don't know what that is, but I'm definitely looking at it. It's definitely lightning whip.
Okay, never mind.
It's that scene from the Blues Brothers. Orange whip, lightning whip,
Totally.
whip.
So 1 damage.
No, you have to try to hit it, is what I'm saying. You have to make a ranged channeling attack.
Hold on.
Against it.
How about a 14?
14 is not going to get it done, I'm afraid.
Sure.
So that is sadly a miss. So again, the bzzz thing I mentioned happens. It does not seem to notice it even. It seems to be focused more on the Ashen Forge with a large hammer in front of it. So, okay, are you going to stay where you are, Aramis, with that like on the ground, having stared through the legs to get to the lightning whip thing.
How far up the passage are we?
From the room that you left, probably 50 feet or so. Maybe 60.
Yeah, Amaris is going to stay in the position that he's in right now.
Okay. Sleepwell, that leads us to you. So you're right behind Petra. This thing is crawling around, and now I need you to make a charisma saving throw because at the beginning of your turn, the creature's eyes come back down. So they're now visible. And we'll deal with what that does to Petra at the beginning of Petra's turn.
Okay. So, I'm sorry, just 1 second. I think it's the first charisma saving throw I have ever made.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's not a common one, these ones. At least not in Esper Genesis. Oh. Well, you were very fascinated by this. I would like you to roll a d8 for me, please. Sleep well.
On it? 7.
No, just a straight d8. This should be a 7, right?
No, he did. Yeah.
Oh,
So-
okay. All right. So let's see. There's the creature, there's Petra, and I guess those ones are the closest because Aramis dropped down. So I would say I'm going to ask you to roll a 6-sided die, Sleepwell. On a 1 to 3, you're going to attack Petra. On a 4 to 6, you're going to attack the creature. Hey! So you're going to attack. Now, you're going to be attacking, though, basically just as a melee kind of thing. Like, not any engineering talent or whatever. You just lash out at this thing because you're just, like, angered and enraged for some reason.
Sure. I mean, I do have my energy staff, though. May I attack with my energy staff?
Sure, why not? Yeah, absolutely. You got this thing.
And do I get my normal, like, 2 attacks?
Mm-hmm. Yep. Oh, yeah.
Would you have asked that if you were attacking Petra?
Do I
Alright,
get
so-
all my bonuses?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. Hold on a second. I forgot. I'm a polearm master, and I forgot if I get to add my proficiency bonus to my attack now. Because
Could be helpful.
I have the polearm master feat. So I'm sorry. Just 1 second. I meant to look that up, but I just.
Red eyes,
Just
red
trying
eyes,
to
red eyes,
court
red
us.
eyes, red eyes.
With its beautiful dance.
No, I don't get my bonus on that. So that's just a 12 that misses.
That will miss, yes.
And then I do get as a bonus action to attack again.
Well, then you're going to attack it again as a bonus action. Yeah. Well,
I just how am I missing this thing that's taking up the whole?
I
game?
know. You're like, what? It's like, talk to the Fallout
just
people. You can just
bouncing off it,
point
right?
blank. Damn. Yeah, basically that's what it is. Like you're banging off. You're so angry that you're just like banging off the walls and stuff. So yes, and you all, Petra, you had the experience of hearing Sleepwell, who doesn't sound like he's attacking, but he doesn't sound quite right, like type of thing. Doesn't sound normal like Sleepwell, for what that's worth. Okay, that leads us to Kaz. Kaz, what would you like to do? Oh, hold on a second.
Okay.
My daughter's saying goodnight, I believe.
All right.
She had her first school dance today.
Oh,
So she went
Wow.
to this. She volunteered. She wanted to go to it. So like she just went, and there were people there, and she had a good time. Freshman. She could be a freshman in high school in the fall.
dear.
It's just crazy. Anyway,
You're like 1,000 years old.
yes, I know. As I crumble to dust. Oh man.
okay.
Anyway.
I will use a bonus action to adjust the visor in my helmet and mark this creature with my hunter's mark,
You're cyclopsing it. I'm taking the shot.
my cyclopic mark.
Okay.
And how close am I to this creature?
Because you're the farthest back, I think. So you are
Okay.
probably a good 40 feet from it. But
Oh,
again,
jeez.
this is going to be a heck of a shot, though, because it more or less you'd have to do what Aramis did, and you're going to get it at disadvantage because, like,
Yeah,
you're having to
should
shoot through
pass all
multiple
my
people.
friends.
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly, Renell.
Would I be able to move my full 35, like past my friends and pretty much right up to it, or?
Yes, if they will allow you to go past. If any of them don't, and actually the only one that wouldn't is probably Sleepwell, because Sleepwell at the
Yeah.
moment is very focused on being angry at this thing.
Okay. Interesting. All right, 40 feet out. Okay, yeah, and I don't want to make a super loud weapon shot right now in this tunnel, so I will move to get as close as I can. If that means I'm stuck right behind Sleepwell, then that's okay.
Okay, you can do that.
And then, how far away does that put me? Right up behind Sleepwell? From the creature?
That would put you, if you're right by Sleepwell, because Sleepwell's right on top, I mean, maybe 10 feet away then at that point.
Okay. Yeah, I really don't want to take a shot, and I don't have any particular ability to get right up to it. It'd be great if I had, like, you know, a data step or something, or whatever. Okay, I will instead use an ability that I haven't used too often, just to get some extra intel. This is Data Scanner.
Okay.
Which also makes sense that I've Hunter's marked it too.
Mm-hmm.
As an action, I'll choose a creature within 60 feet. I immediately learn the nature of its damage, immunities, resistances, and vulnerabilities, if it has any.
Yes, it does. Or at least it has, actually, not immunities. What does it give you? Just immunities and resistances?
Yeah, and vulnerabilities, that's it.
None of the above.
Okay.
It has none of any of that.
All right.
So
That's the only thing. So I convey that to the party, and I'll just kind of grab Sleepwell's shoulder and be like, "Hey, the eyes are a lie. Don't believe it." And
don't believe
that's
the
my
lies.
turn.
Oh, and yeah, and actually, I'm sorry, Kaz. Oh no, you didn't have to worry about that because you were behind it, so that's fine. Yes, you were behind your party members, so that was fine.
Okay.
Okay, good stuff. Thank you. All right, now it's the creature's turn, and Petra, this thing is going to attempt to attack you, and it is going to attack you with its claws and with its mandibles. So it's going to try 2 claw attacks on you. And that is, we're looking at a 15. Oh, wait. How about I actually roll the right die? How about that? That'll be nice. Not a D8, Greg. That'll be this one. Okay. That is going to be a 26 and an 11. Is that a 26 is a hit, I'm assuming?
Against who?
Against Petra. So, sorry, you're muted, I think. You're muted, I think.
Yes.
Okay.
That does make sense why no one was reacting to
Yeah,
that.
I was like, I can't hear you.
Yeah.
Yes,
Okay.
the 26 hits. The 11 does not.
Okay, and the mandibles are an 11, so that also misses. So you just hit once by the claw, and that is just the claw. The claw. That's 7 points of damage, slashing damage, that you take, Petra.
Got it.
I have you at 59. Is that right? 59. out of
I
70?
have me at 58. I would gladly put it at 59.
Yeah, let's say 59. I had you at 59.
Works for me.
Okay, so it does that, and then it's going to stay continually type of thing, and that seems to be it at the moment. And Petra, it's your turn. You hear Sleepwell screaming like a loon next to you, and this creature in front of you. And I need you to make it. And I'm sorry, and I need you to make a charisma saving throw because its eyes are again present or visible.
A 9.
Oh,
So, you raise your hammer and then you're just, these eyes are really cool, like they're really fascinating. And I need you to roll a d8 for me, please, Petra.
One.
So you're just, wow. And I'm afraid that's your turn.
Okay.
You are just staring at this thing.
Mesmerized.
Mesmerized by this thing. So you have Sleepwell's really angry at it and you who's mesmerized by it. Aramis, you notice that Petra's raising her hammer and then just stops moving and just is staring at it. And I also now, how do you want to approach this thing? Because right now the eye, you're behind 2 of your party members, so you don't necessarily see the eyes yet. How do you want to deal with that if you want to approach it? Or, I mean, you could try doing the lightning whip thing again if you want, with the minuses we talked about, and so on. Or you can move up closer, but if you do, you're going to have to contend with the eye situation.
I don't think moving any closer is really going to allow me to be any more effective, and it's going to really hurt anybody who's in physical range. So I'm just going to use the lightning whip again.
Okay, so that -3.
Yeah, you know, it's just nice.
Sadly, no love, I'm afraid, Aramis. Are you staying where you are then because of the or not?
Has the situation changed behind us at all besides Kaz moving up?
No, there doesn't seem to be anything else behind you. Oh, Aramis, you have been inspired. Now, technically, it's ex post facto, but I'll allow it. You have been inspired if you wish to roll that again. You've been inspired by one Arudno.
Arudno, I will definitely do that again. Thank you so much.
Good job,
Let's
Arudno.
try that. How about a 19?
How about a hit?
We
That'll
love
work.
that inspiration that pays off.
There we go. The inspiration works. All right, that is a hit.
Okay.
So now you can do your damage and stuff.
All right, let's double check this real quick. 1 second. Again.
A lightning whip will obliterate a Zamarin tunneler. 700 points of damage.
It's super effective.
You found the Metroid weakness.
Okay. All right. So it's just going to be 1d10 right now. How about 4?
It will take that and not like it. But there's good news about that,
which is the concentration up.
Okay. When you do that to it, it like goes up, and then it leaps down again and tunnels out of sight. Now Petra, actually no, Petra's not going to do anything because Petra is just mesmerized. And let's see, Sleepwell though, you actually can get an attack of opportunity because you're wailing away on this thing as it races away from you. So you can attack it if you wish.
I do.
Actually, not if you wish. You just have to because it's the thing.
Right. So
17 is not going to hit.
Wow, this thing doesn't hit out of 17?
17 is not enough. It's
Bulky
close.
guy. Wow.
Yep. Sadly, it dives and again disappears. Now, once it disappears, I will say that Petra and Sleepo, both of you, are like kind of shake free of it, even without doing the saving throw, because it's now out of your sight. So your will is your own again, and that means that Sleepwell, it's actually now your turn, and this creature, this thing is gone, and you has left this hole, basically this massive, like almost 8-foot tall passage to the left and the right in the way. It almost looks, it's like it's swimming through sand and leaving these massive holes behind as it goes.
I mean, can I just like quickly look down and see if I can still see it as it's
out of sight already, moving at incredible speed. But also the passageway that it's in winds, so it might have like, you know, like a sandworm, like crawl, you know, like dove underneath and then curled, so you might not see it, but it moves for its bulk. It's amazing how fast it moves through rock.
It's just like, yeah, it's just like a stupid way to fight it. So like, I'm gonna use my movement to move 30 feet back into that open area.
Going back, or you're keeping going forward? Which way?
Going back this time.
Oh, okay. So you're going back to the room that you started from?
Right.
Okay.
Because this way, at least we aren't in a stupid passage where nobody can shoot or whatever.
Okay.
I am going to cast Mend on myself at 3rd level.
Okay.
So, so sorry.
No problem. Kaz will be on deck in a minute.
Yeah, just 1 second here. Just have to change my action there. Yeah, so I'm gonna roll 3d8 plus my bonuses for being a healer dude.
Okay.
So I heal 19 points of damage there.
19. So I think we're looking at 63, if I believe is what it is, because you were at 44. All right. Good stuff. Sleep well. That leads us to Kaz. Again, this thing has swum away, so to speak.
Okay. I will. I'd like to. I would want to get to this next room, especially if it's chasing us. So Kaz
Okay.
is actually going to keep running.
Okay.
And I just remembered that at level 8, a hunter can dash as a bonus action. So
Okay.
I'm just gonna Leroy Jenkins into the room.
You'll be happy to know that I'd mentioned that it sort of bends up and banks around. Past the bank, so to speak, you find yourself. How do I describe it? It banks around and then basically comes up as if it's sort of coming out of the floor. So basically the hole ends in the floor of this room, and a room which is clearly a built room, not a naturally hewn room. It is a narrow room with holes drilled into the walls. And as you come out of the hole and you're looking around, you can see that there are 3 rows of holes which run the length of each wall. Each one of them is 5 feet from another hole. And you can see from your vantage point that several of those holes in the wall have a flashing red light. There is a metal cylinder resting inside some of those holes.
Ooh. All right.
And I think you moved and did the thing. So
Yeah. How much of my movement would it have taken to get 35 base?
right,
get
and then
into
you
the room?
dashed. So it was
So I would've
probably
been
about
70.
50. It was probably from where you were about 40 feet to the bend and another 30 feet. Yeah, that's about right. 70. So
Okay.
you would be right at the floor of this room / hole.
Okay.
And it clearly, clearly this thing was not intended to come out here. Something must have burrowed, maybe the thing you're fighting, burrowed out of this room or into it. But in any case, the
Okay.
room is definitely not a cave. It's a room.
Do I see any sign of these creatures in this room at all?
You do not.
Okay. All right. I will, because I think I'm out of movement, but I still have an action. So, and I'm not close enough to one of these holes in the wall to grab one.
Not yet.
Right? Okay. In that case, I will.
Hey, Critch.
Greg, just a quick point. I forgot to add in my healing savant points, so I've
okay.
got 5 points of healing there for a total of 68 right
Okay.
now.
Nice.
I have no problem
alright.
with that. That is your thing.
In that case, let's see. The rest of my party is back around a bend now, so
Yes.
I can't see them, right?
Right.
Okay. In that case, I will hold my action. I'll pull out my shield,
Okay.
which I rarely use, and I have my arm pistol at the ready in the other hand, and I'm holding my action to attack a creature that I see if it pops out.
Okay. Sounds like a plan. And speaking of popping out, let's see, which one of the 4 came down around this one? Okay. Kaz, I need you to make a perception check for me, please.
Lovely. All right.
So we'll work out in your
That's
favor
fine.
if you make the perception check.
My
Oh, and what's your passive
expertise.
perception? You said it was
My
19?
passive is 21.
Okay, so I want you, so you
Yeah.
can do this perception check at advantage then.
Okay. That would be good. 28.
Ah, yes. So you are actually able to essentially, because you're standing almost like with your waist above the floor. So you're able to just roll out of the way as this thing comes like from the side of the tunnel down below up like this and sort of around you. So you roll out of the way. But that means you're now ready. You can fire at it because you had your action held. It will then get a chance to attack you, but it's now there. And now that you're in this room, by the way, that's a decent size, this thing is big, like probably
Great.
12, 13 feet tall.
Amazing. Yeah.
I'm sure you love that news.
Okay. I usually get 2 attacks per action, so do I still get
Yep.
2? Okay.
Yep.
All right, I'll take 2 shots.
Fire away.
Let's see what I get. So that's a unnatural 20 for the first shot,
Hit.
and for the second, 27.
Hit.
Which is cool.
2 hits. Pew pew.
So that's gonna do 2d6. Actually 3d6 because it's my hunter's mark, and plus my dexterity, which is 3. Don't think I have any other bonus necessarily.
It adds up to 300 damage.
Yeah. With the sniper, perhaps, but I think this one stops there. Let me just triple check. Yeah, 26. Okay. All right.
And
so
Petra's
this
on
is
deck, by the way.
how much it takes. Wow, 19. damage.
19. Okay, so that squish. 57. Okay. Right. So that is okay. All right. That's quite a hit, and this thing riles up. You can now see that the hits that you've had are definitely having an effect. There's kind of ichor flowing down it and stuff like that, and it's kind of again writhing around. And as it does so, as it writhes around, you can see a couple of the cylinders in the wall kind of rattle a little bit, and the red light blinks a little faster in each of the cylinders.
Interesting. Okay.
Okay, that's going to lead us to
That's it's
yeah.
still its turn.
Yeah,
That was
that's
my
oh right, that was right.
Yeah.
That's right. Thank you for the reminder. Yes, so it
welcome.
needs to make its roll. I would have figured it out in the middle of Petra's turn anyway.
Yeah.
Okay, so it is going to attack you 3 times. It's going to try to do so with mandibles first of all. No, with claws. So 2 hits there. Oh, it critically misses, which is what happens when you hit it, I guess.
Nice.
And then this next one that's going to, however, hit, I think. That is a 26 to hit with the claw.
Yeah. Yep.
All right. 26 with a claw and the mandible attack. Mandible attack. Get to the note of the monster. There we go. And the mandible attack is going to be a 20, not a natural one.
20 hits.
Okay. So 1 claw, 1 mandible. The claw,
The claw.
that is 6 points of damage.
Okay.
Slashing. So I think you're at 47. I have you at?
Yes.
Okay. And then the mandible is the more painful one.
Fun.
But actually, 9 points of damage. That could have been much worse.
Okay.
Although I'm sure it doesn't make you feel any better, but...
Yeah.
Okay. Now it is... I apologize. Now it is Petra's turn. So this thing, you can hear the rumbling ahead of you, like, past the bend in the passageway in front of you, Petra.
So I know it's up there.
Definitely. And that's where Kaz went, too.
Well, I'm going to move that way, but while doing that, I'm also going to use my regenerative force and heal myself 25 points.
Ah, lovely. Okay.
Wow.
That will get you up to 74, I believe? No.
Yep.
What am I saying? No, that'll max you out, actually, because your max is 76, right?
I thought it was 78. Is it not 78? Let me look.
I thought it was 76, but you tell me. It could be I had that wrong. Sleepwell's 78.
No, you're right. My 76 is
Okay.
correct.
So
So
we're
yes.
maxed out at 76. Okay.
Yeah.
So you're able to do that. Is that an action regenerative force?
I think
Or
it
bonus.
is.
Because it'll matter in terms of your speed. And Aramis is going to be on deck. I just saw that.
It is an action.
Okay, so that means you can just move at your normal speed, which is fine. But all that
Right.
what that means is that you're going to get to the bend in the tunnel, so you can basically look and see you can see up into what is clearly a larger room. You can see the creature kind of writhing back and forth above the hole and sort of into the room a little bit. And you can see Kaz, who's sort of right near the hole. Like you can just sort of see his arm occasionally. And he seems to be fighting it up in that room.
And I tried not to look at its eyes.
Okay, so you're averting your eyes. That
I'm averting my
noted. Okay, noted. Aramis, you are up. And Sleepwell is on deck. Aramis, what would you like to do?
Aramis is going to follow Cause or in the direction that he went.
Okay. If you're going to double move it, then I would say you can probably get to right behind Petra, more or less. And you see exactly what I've just described. Now, are you also trying to avoid looking at the eyes or not?
This will be an entirely new saving throw check if I need to. If I look in that
Depends. It won't happen this turn, and you don't know whether it would happen at all. But if you're normally, it happens when you're in view of it and its eyes come down and focus. Then you would do a charisma saving throw at the beginning of your turn. So right now, it would not affect you this turn, but.
Aramis is going to peer around Petra, but he's not going to look directly at the thing where he expects the eyes.
Got it. It's a pretty big body anyway. So okay.
Right.
All right. You can definitely do that. And that's going to lead us to Sleepwell with Kaz on deck. Sleepwell, I know you're back in the other room. What would you like to do?
I'm just kind of like looking around, going, guys, guys. Yeah.
You see some eggs.
Yeah, I'm just gonna like just go. And just start running up the freaking hallway.
Can we just get him over to the visual? So Sleepwell like runs back. He's like, and then turns around. He's like, he runs like right back up the same hallway.
Here, do strategic stuff. We'll be able to all attack. And guys,
God,
so now
damn it! Like right, okay. So if you're gonna just like book it, double move up that way, I would say you won't be able to quite get to the bend, but you can certainly hear the sound of fighting like nearby, like around the bend. And even from the sound, Sleepwell, you can tell that this is definitely not in a tunnel. They are fighting in a larger room, if that makes you feel any better. Just not your room that you're in. So Kaz, you were up next, and you see the thing is above you. Now, because its eyes are up, it does not. You don't have to make a saving throw yet. It's still like moving around. But next turn, I don't know. But this turn, you're okay.
Okay. Can I gauge at all how hurt it seems?
You've done some solid damage to it. Definitely a fair bit. It doesn't look like it's going to keel over immediately, but you've definitely hit it a fair bit so far.
Okay.
This thing can bleed, and if it bleeds, you know the rest.
Kaz will kind of look at the creature, see it's getting ready to show its eyes.
Mm-hmm.
And Kaz will look down at his suit and dig his fingers under the main port on his chest and will rip it back open as he releases the Bellari light beam.
I was waiting for this thing.
Oh,
The Bellari light beam moment. Okay.
like Ultraman.
So,
Yep.
let me look this up.
Okay.
Haven't used it too often, but it's one of the racial features. So, let's see. I don't know if it would have any extra significance if I could like wait for the moment that it shows its eyes, possibly actually. Or would that just
No, I mean you have no way of knowing, but I mean,
okay.
Maybe now while you're not mesmerized is a good moment to do this.
You're right. So I release this beam of light from my suit.
Okay.
Any creature in the line of fire must make a dexterity saving throw.
All right. What's it aiming for?
A 15. Let me just triple check on that.
Okay.
Efficiency at this level is 4. So that's 8, 10, 11, 12. Yeah, 15.
15. Okay, it definitely does not make that.
Okay, great.
So it is hit by this
So that's
thing.
it's gonna take 4d8 radiant damage.
Woof. That's a
Pretty
lot of
good.
eights.
That's 25
Wow.
radiant damage.
This thing's real hurt. So this beam now, it does two things, Kaz. This beam slams into its body and it flies back. Oh, not flies, but you know what I mean. Its body, like, you sort of with the impact, slams back against the wall.
Oh.
And as it does this, a bunch of the cylinders and the holes, the red lights go, and one of them you can see rattles loose. It's now teetering at the edge of its hole, like almost ready to fall over.
Great.
Where do you want to move, Kaz?
I want to move right next to it. Right next to the teetering thing.
All
That's a
right.
drop.
So Kaz moves underneath the teetering red blinking cylinder, and that's going to lead us.
Well, wait.
I have a
See,
question.
I didn't think. Okay, that's a fair point. I didn't think, oh, it's gonna explode. I mean, that's true. Kaz is thinking, oh, I'll move. I see it's teetering. I'll move right next to it, and then hopefully I can grab it before it hits the ground. But
Okay. I love it. No, I think this is amazing.
yeah.
And
that's what I do.
go ahead, Aramis.
Just have one question for Zach, since he's I haven't seen his Twitter post lately about
Yeah.
what we should be doing yet.
Yeah.
But I'm wondering what you want to do when we actually have a TPK or TKP or TPK. Sorry, it's late.
Yeah.
Total kill party.
Three episodes before our finale.
That's
Please
why
tell me,
I'm
Zach, what are we
moving-
doing?
That's why I'm moving up to it to grab it so that doesn't
So that doesn't happen.
Yeah.
It's fine. That we're fine. It's all
So that was Kaz's turn, which means it's now its turn. So it kind of like sways back down, lowers its eyes, and is going to attempt to attack you, Kaz, since you're right there.
Okay.
2 claws and a mandible.
Okay.
Let's see. We're looking at 24 and 21 for the claws, and 10 for the mandible.
And misses.
Okay. So that means total between the 2 claws, 16 points of damage between the 2 claws.
Okay.
Okay. And Petra, you are up now, and you're right there, and you can see, because you came around the corner, you're right there, and you can see that this thing is quite hurt now. You also now can see that Kaz has moved next to what looks like a teetering silver cylinder.
I'm going to hit this thing and not worry about the teetering silver cylinder.
Okay.
Yes. I like how we think.
20 will hit.
So
26
I've
will hit.
hit twice.
Good God.
So 8 and
I like how you said that, Greg. Good God.
That's just good God.
That's
8
one
and
kind of
11.
family.
8 and 11.
Amazing.
That is okay.
19.
Oh my, this is the best. So, Petra, slam. This thing hits twice, and the second hammer blow is so hard that it slams its head back into the wall, and just lands on the ground and shivers and does not move. But it hits the wall so hard that the teetering cylinder falls from the hole.
Oh,
Kaz
no.
looks up.
Oh,
And that's where we end our
no.
session for today.
Ah!
The ultimate cylinder. You've heard of a cliffhanger, but have you heard of a cylinder hanger?
hanger. Yes.
Wow.
Oh,
I love it.
What a great fight, everybody.
Yeah,
that was
fun.
oh man,
That was good.
I was really digging especially when you're like, you see the eyes and you're just like, wait, what do I see? It's just like, well, about that. Good stuff, everybody. And yes, I wanted to make sure that we got out of here exactly when I said we would, and we have. So 2 minutes
Yeah,
earlier
it's
than that.
perfect.
But it means we're set up for it, and you have made some progress. It was just, you ended last time with a bunch of slugs on you, and this time you end with whether you're going to catch this steel cylinder. I think it'll be fine.
It's gonna be the shortest session ever next time.
That's true. It could be very short. It's like I
Natural one.
missed the decks,
Thorium bomb.
and everyone dies.
Yep.
Yeah. So chat better get its inspirations ready.
Yeah.
Good stuff from everybody though in a difficult fight. This is not easy because first of all, this creature reminds me a lot of if you know the original Star Trek, the Horda, this creature that can move through rock like other things move through air. And I love that image. This is much bigger and much more threatening. And having to fight it while thinking about the fact that you're in a fairly limited space and like there are no good options. Like even Sleepo running back to the other room, that's not a bad idea either, but it's not like that room's enormous, it's just a bad situation all the way around. So I think you handled it well under those circumstances. Also, hi Rising Ties, good to see you, Brennan. So it was good stuff from everybody. And Kaz, that moment where you sort of pulled yourself out, had the shield and the pistol, and you were ready to go. At the beginning of the fight, being super mesmerized as you were for a few rounds, it seemed like some poetic justice that you, because of your perception and so forth, did not have this happen to you the second time when the thing came out. And now you got you got a few weeks to think about whether you can catch that cylinder. How did you feel about today's session? Where will the fine folks find you next?
I felt really good about today's session. I'm always very happy to be a little creeped out by everything that's by the things that we're facing. And I'm excited to roll up new characters early because obviously we're gonna get blown to smithereens at the start of next session.
Great plan. I'm excited to be a part of it.
Yeah, I didn't even consider that such a thing might be explosive. Sorium, the source of incredible power that might be contained in a cylindrical pod. It's not like but no, that was a great session. That was amazing. The time felt like it flew by. So that was great, and the fine people will find me, of course, on this channel for Esper Genesis again. Our vocalists, of course, where we're doing playing "I'm Gone" on it. And yeah, which is very
Silver
fun game.
Cylinder. No, it
Yes.
isn't.
And then on my Twitter, where I'm active all the time.
Yes, definitely.
And-
Everyone go follow Zach right now and
Yeah.
make sure that you look at it in the morning. Just part of your daily ritual. You wake up,
Yeah.
go to the bathroom, pull up your phone, see what Zach told you to
That's
do
a good
today.
idea. Don't go to the
you know,
bathroom.
exactly.
You have
That's
to
true.
find
Wait
it.
till you hear if Zach allows you. That's true.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Exactly. It should be the first thing that you check in the morning before literally anything else. So yeah, that's me.
Oh, and I left out, by the way, that unbelievable energy beam use. Like, oh my God, that
Oh,
was
yeah.
also great.
That was good.
Yeah.
Perfect moment for that too.
Yeah.
So it was good stuff. Yeah, I forgot about that. Good stuff today, Zach. We will speak to you with our vocalist, and then of course more Esper Genesis too. Carlos, I'm glad that you were able to make it. Pretty much with us for the whole session, which was great, and got to see your healing. Actually, it is every so often. It's one of those things. Trendane plays a healer in my Adventures of Middle Earth campaign. And if they're up there like level 9 or something now too. So when he throws out a heal, you're like, God, you heal a lot of damage. And I was thinking about that with you. You're just kind of like this plus healing adept plus this plus add some garlic. Like you put all this together and you're just like the healing machine, which may be needed given the circumstances of what your party is dealing with. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see how Sleepwell manages stuff. How did you feel about today's session? Where will the fine folks find you next?
Yeah, I mean, like the good thing about like this sort of combat is more like less about sort of like the tactical optimization and sort of like comedic beats. I think where it's just sort of like because like when you're getting hypnotized and you can't do anything, you're just sort of like, well, I guess it's time to role play. So like I think my favorite moment is me ending up in a room by myself going, guys. So just tons of fun as always, and like Zach said, it is like 3 seconds went by. It just felt like no time at all.
Yeah.
passed by. So it'll be really, really fun to have a slightly longer session next time.
Indeed.
So in 2 weeks, people will see me at Kansas City Comic-Con. I'll be doing some panels and stuff, and I will be showing off Negocios Infernales, which got the Zach lukewarm seal of approval
Yes.
earlier, which is basically worth its weight in platinum.
Yep.
Because
No, that's
any
huge.
other-
His
Yeah.
lukewarm is anyone else's hot take. His hot, like top. So, I mean,
Also, I'll just point people to this that my short story in Uncanny Magazine just became available for free online. It is a hippie trippy pan to new wave science fiction. I think I think it has that kind of like 1960s feel of psychological science fiction. So yeah, it's called I Will Have This Diamond for a Heart, and you can read it for free.
good stuff. And you should read Carlos's work. You are going to see more of Carlos. We're pretty soon. You might see Carlos at several prominent conventions in which both myself and also a certain Cat Rambo are involved as well. And you will find out more about that when official announcements are made, which will be soon, I hope. And then we can talk about that. But anyway, good stuff, my friend. Well done today. And yeah, I look forward to seeing how Sleepwell manages things next. Moving right up in our normal order. Kat, Petra that was a nice moment for Petra at the end, really. Like a couple of big old hammer blows as you're standing in this room with the cylinder. And the rest of it was just kind of like, you were dealing with the same issue where you're the Sentinel. You wanted to try to defend people, but it's a little hard to do under the circumstances, especially given that the way that the conditions of the fighting, the theater, so to speak, of the battle is taking place. But I think you managed it anyway, and that was a pretty epic way, I think, to end the fight against this creature. How did you feel about today's session? Where will the fine folks find you next?
I thought it was terrific fun as always. It's, I think we just always have a good time, whether we're on the map or off the map. It's just delightful. If you are at NorwestCon next week in Seattle, I am there, and you can find me in lots of programming, and I'll be at Jennifer Brozek's booth. And then the following month, I'm not doing anything, I don't think. Well, you always find me online and on the Twitters. So, yeah.
On the Twitters. And in June, you will find Kat as the author guest of honor, and that has been announced, at Origins, as part of what our program is called. And incidentally, I think we can also state this now. It is the Author's Alcove. That is the name of it. The Author's Alcove is the name of Origin. Yes, it's been given a name. We didn't pick it. It's fine, though. It's our alcove, and that's fine. So Author's Alcove. So you will find the author guest of honor, Kat Rambo, which is our honor for her to be there, for them to be there with this. So it's going to be great. That's happening at Origins in June. Thank you, Kat. Always a pleasure. Great stuff tonight. And also great stuff as well from Johnny. Aramis, you started out the situation with a couple of flaming discs to the body, and you did in fact hit it. And the rest of it was that lightning whip actually did some serious damage once you got it done. But I love the image of you just dropping to your, straight onto your front basically, and just like trying to chuck the lightning whip through legs and stuff. Again, you had the same situation everyone else did in terms of dealing with stuff. And for you can't be up close and personal with it because that's not the idea. So you were having to thread a needle quite a few times. But you still managed to hit it and do some damage to it. How did you feel about today's session? And where will the fine folks find you next?
I didn't like it. I didn't like it at all. I didn't like fighting in corridors where there's like people in front of me and behind me, and I'm good. I don't think I've been in as painful of a combat before as trying to figure out how to navigate and get around and do the thing between legs and around people and deal with hypnotized individuals. But it was a good time. So thanks for that, Greg. Appreciate it.
My pleasure. My pleasure. You could take the creature. It was the
right. And no, it was a good time. I'm looking forward to whatever is going to happen to Cause next. And I'm assuming we'll hear exactly what the plan is, right? For next time, Zach, you're going to tweet out like right beforehand so that we can
I'd always tweet out the script for every Esper Genesis.
Right. All scripted. I assume you're going to poll your millions of fans with just drop the cylinder, don't drop the cylinder, and just see, or
lick the cylinder. I'll add that as like the weird third option that you do.
Yes.
But yeah, so all good. And you'll find me here next in a couple of weeks, and it may be from California. I'm not quite sure yet. Maybe close to California at that particular point, since we're heading back that direction sometime soon. So
that'll be good stuff.
That's it.
Wonderful work as always from these wonderful players. And remember, chat, you will see them in a future campaign as we talked about, but if you want to see them as part of this campaign, you only have 3 opportunities left to do it. 1 session later this month, 1 normal session early in May, and then the epic conclusion at ArvCon. So, get your fill of these characters, because this will be it for them, or will it? But it'll be it for them as part of the Shadow of the Zephyr campaign. So you'll want to make sure you get a hold of watching this amazing crew do its work before all is said and done. But I'm going to let these folks go. Thank you, as always, to my wonderful players. Thanks again to Johnny Pippin. Thank you to Carlos Hernandez, to Kat Rambo, and thank you to Zach Clay, from whom all blessings flow. Sorry. And I will see all of you lovely folks soon.
And normally at this point I thank Greg, but I just want to say thank you to Zach.
No, definitely thank Zach.
Zach, thank you so much.
Thank
and
you.
Through me, I thank Greg.
Wow, what an honor. I'll live with that all day. Bye for now, all. Oh my goodness. I have no idea why we started to make Zach the sum of all things, but that's the way we roll here. So yeah, that was great. I had a lot of fun with that, even though it was a shorter session. I really did want to get the session in, and I'm glad that we were able to do it with everybody. And you will see us again, actually in 2 weeks, chat. We'll be back on Friday the 22nd, and we'll find out what happens with this catching the cylinder, and then all that other stuff about what they find out about this room. So that is going to be happening, and it's going to set up for an epic last couple of sessions, wrapping up Esper Genesis. It's going to be really cool. So, but before that happens, of course, we are going to have some other sessions here. And tomorrow, chat, you're going to have your opportunity to get your own say in the way these things operate, because you, my friends, are going to be doing the conclusion, the epic conclusion of Legacy of Dragonholt. We started playing this last year. This is basically something where we all play it together. But Harriet is going to rise again. She will once again come forward, and Harriet is going to, come hell or high water, finish with Legacy of Dragonholt tomorrow. So we're wrapping up the session tomorrow, wrapping up that tomorrow as our final D&D with chat. Although after that, we will probably be going into the unknown, which is the next campaign, so to speak, adventure that we'll be doing together. But that's going to be happening tomorrow. So we're going to wrap up Legacy of Dragonholt. Then we'll be off Sunday, Monday, and then we'll be back on Tuesday for my streamiversary. And if you haven't already done so, please mark your calendars for that. I'm going to be making a major push to be able to get YouTube subs during that. I'm going to be doing the cover reveal of my Gray Shade novel. We're going to have a giveaway or two. In fact, I'm going to be giving away a game code thanks to the generosity of one Mr. Dragonspear. And we're going to be having some laughs talking about the past and the future of the channel. So it's going to be great. You will not want to miss it. And that's going to be happening Tuesday morning. I'm going to be starting earlier than normal, probably 10 a.m. at the latest. I might even start earlier if I can, but I'm not going to promise that. But no later than 10 a.m. Eastern, and then we're going to be running all the way through. At noon Eastern, we'll be doing some adventures in Middle-earth, and then at 4 p.m. Eastern, I'll be heading over I will be heading over to GogCom for Pen and Pixels and more Dragon's Dogma. I do have to say, by the way, that I noticed that Solasta has a new campaign coming out called Lost Valley, and I was like, it has something called a Swift Blade in it, which is like an assassin that's like a ranger, and my novel is about a religious assassin, and it's Solasta. I don't know. I'm gonna have to pray to Zach Clay to help me out of this one, because I'm really tempted to play that DLC because I liked Solasta so much that maybe I want to play the DLC now. I don't know. We'll see. Anyway, but that's going to be happening on Tuesday. So you'll definitely want to be here for that. And then, of course, Friday, we are going to be back with some Gran Turismo 7, Friday and Saturday, assuming I'm not away. It is possible I will be away with my family on Friday and Saturday, possibly. So I don't know that for sure, but that'll be next week, and we'll talk more about that when we get there. Otherwise, though, we are going to be here for your edumacation and entertainment, and we'll have more Bag of Giving and speculate and all that kind of good stuff. So you'll definitely want to stop by for all of that. But right now, we are going to wrap things up for the evening. I think we probably will do a raid depending on who we've got here. Let me just double check and see who we've got before I agree to a raid. Who's it going to be? Who's it going to be? Okay. Oh, yes. Okay. Yeah, so we are going to do a raid. And the raids here are really simple. If you are a sub, you're going to do, if you're not a sub, you're going to do this, which is the Arvanauts have landed, followed by Twitch raid, lowercase Twitch, uppercase R, lowercase AID. If you are a sub, you're going to do this, Arvany hype, and then the Arvanauts have landed, and then Twitch raid, and then Arvany roar, and then Arvany smug, Arvany woe, Arvany witch, Arvany blown, Arvany love, all the Arvanys, if you have access to any of those, when you are brought over auto-magically to this place. And you will definitely want to raid these places that I'm going to take you to in just a moment. So definitely do that with me. me. But if you like what you saw and heard, please follow the channel. Check out our YouTube with !ArvTube. Please do subscribe to me over there. We're trying to make a major push to get that to 1,000 subscribers. It's free for you, but it really helps us out. And you can check out past broadcasts of this, the previous 74 days of Esper Genesis. You can check out as well. !ArvTube for that. !ArvCord for our Discord. Please join us over there. !ArvTweets for my Twitter. You can follow me over there for more information about stuff that I'm doing and about stuff relating to the channel. And of course, the website for this is arvaneleron.com. On the financial side, !Arv Shop is the merchandise area. You can get Infinity and Beyond stuff, Adventures of Middle-earth stuff, soon to be Expedition for the Mysterious Peak stuff. So cool swag for you, and it helps us out. This also helps us out. This is the Patreon, !ArvTreon. And the more that we can get into the Patreon, the more that we can do all sorts of things for the channel, including adding stuff like this lighting setup that you see here, and all this stuff is all a consequence of the financial support that you folks have been able to give the channel over the years. And so please consider doing that. You also get inspirations to help the players. Arudinel's inspiration was hugely important tonight, as we saw. So those things really make a difference. So please consider doing that if you can. Also, subbing to the channel lets you get those inspirations as well if you support at a high enough tier. And of course, you get those sub badges and emotes to use here, there, and everywhere across Twitch. So that is really valuable, and it really helps us out. So thank you for doing that. On the publishing side, Icarus is my Icarus graphic novel from Athos Arts. Library is my Tales and Tomes from the Forbidden Library. My 5e Adventure and Sourcebook from Alligator Alley Entertainment. And both Alligator Alley and Athos Arts are going to be working together on my Gray Shade Kickstarter, which is really coming together, Gray Shade KS. Again, that book will be published on May 31st. Preview page for the Kickstarter backer page will be going live, or the backer kit will be going live on that day as well. And then the Kickstarter will go live completely 2 weeks after May 31st, and that will launch the Gray Shade Kickstarter with the last 2 books in that series, Renegade and Heretic, and with a tabletop role-playing game designed by Aaron Rosenberg and Rich Lescouflair, and designed, and also our and also our audiobook with our own Trending Sparks doing that. So you'll definitely want to be here for that, and other surprises. So very excited about this Kickstarter, and it's coming ever closer. So that is going to be exciting. And then last but certainly not least, BLM, Black Lives Matter. Very important to affirm and assert the significance and importance of Black lives. Help Now, which is the World Health Organization page on suicide prevention. Very important to reach out to others when you need help, and to reach out to others when they need help as well. And Ukraine, Ukraine. Very important to support people right now that are trying to maintain their sovereignty and fight against a ruthless imperialist power that is illegally attempting to occupy and, in fact, obliterate in some ways their country. This is a way that you can actually fight back in our own small way. So please consider jumping on board with Ukraine. I want to thank everyone who made this an awesome stream. Thank you to my wonderful mods as always, Arudinel, Dragonspear, Rock God, and Trifity Mats, and the Rising Tides. Thank you as well to my wonderful Patreon supporters and subscribers, Arudinel, Dragonspear, Rock God, Trifity Mats, the Rising Tides, Mrs. Dunsel, Video Store Cowboy, Write, Teach, Play. Thank you as well to all of my viewers, to Academy Impossible, to Alto, to Calm Koala, Chrono Travis. Thank you to Crit Twitch. Thank you to Itzama. Thank you to Kitten Rescue, Light and Passion, Optic Nerve. What's up, Optic? The Zippy Zippo. Thank you to Warrior Guy. Thank you to We Love Marbles. And of course, thank you to Wenchkin. Much love to all of you wonderful people. I will see you back here tomorrow for some Legacy of Dragonholt as we wrap up the Legacy of Dragonholt game. Special thanks tonight to my wonderful players. Thank you to Johnny Pittman. Thank you to Cat Rambo. Thank you to Carlos Hernandez. And thank you to he above all, Zach Clay. And we will see all of you lovely people, folks, very soon. Stick around for the raid, and I'll catch you folks soon. Much love. Be good to each other. Have a good night.
When I was a child, I talked like a child. I thought like a child. I reasoned like a child. When I grew older, I set aside childish ways. Corinthians 13:11. In the distant future, mankind has spread into the stars and found it is not alone. Within the cluster of planets known as the Silrain Heart, many races strive for survival or supremacy. But throughout this array of planets, societies, and cultures, each has one thing in common: the crucibles, Scattered throughout the galaxy, each moon-sized structure contains a core of raw soaring, a form of mysterious energy used to power ships, cities, and sometimes the warping of the fabric of reality itself. Beings who can do this have been given a name: Espers. The power of God has been granted to God's children. It is a time of terror. It is a time of wonder. It is the time of Esper Genesis.